A lot of us are living a life that we don't actually want, and we're trying to change that. But here's the thing. You can't build a life that you want if all of your energy is just going into keeping the current one running. That's where I was. I had ideas, I had things that I wanted to create, I had a business I wanted to grow, but every single day, my energy was being consumed by my house, errands, and all of the endless decisions that go through our mind each day, like the visual noise of a messy counter, knowing the laundry was piling up and it was going to take me all weekend to try to get it done. Remembering that someone had to be somewhere at 4 o'clock. None of these decisions were huge on their own, but together it was a lot of things taking up a lot of mental space. And by the time I'd have a pocket of free time to sit down and work on my business or to create something that mattered to me, I had nothing left. And I think that's one of the challenges that so many of us face, especially women. It's the mental load, not just the physical tasks that we have to take care of, but the invisible weight of having to manage everything. The decisions, the planning, the tracking, the remembering, it all runs in the back of your mind constantly, and it is exhausting. And when you're also trying to build something like a creative life or a business, a life that you actually love, the invisible weight of everything that you carry is the thing that takes you out. So I started to ask myself a different question, and that was, how can I make this easier for myself? And that's when the shift really started to happen. Hey everyone, I'm Krista, and this is The Slow Creative. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. This channel is for anyone who is feeling like they want to get out of survival and start thriving in their life again. It's for anyone who says they want to create more and they want to be more present for the things that truly matter in their life. They want more space to actually create something meaningful without burning yourself out to get there. Today, I'm sharing with you some simple systems that run my home and my creative life. So let's get into it. I've broken them into two categories, your home and your creative life. To me, they go together because when your home is running smoothly, when you have more spaciousness to think, when you have less distractions in your home and in your day, then it opens up more space for you to be creative and to get into that deep focused work to help you build something that really means something to you, which is really the whole point of this video. So let's start with the home systems first. The first system, and I've talked about this on the channel before, is the leave it where you need it system. So this system sounds kind of basic, but I personally think that this is the system that probably saves me the most time in the day. So for example, I have all of my cleaning supplies left in every bathroom in my home. They're not tucked away in a cupboard, they're not under the kitchen sink. Every bathroom is stocked with some Lysol wipes, some toilet bowl cleaner, some window kind of mirror cleaner, and paper towels, anything I would need to clean the bathroom and make it fresh again. When it's easy and accessible, it gets done. If I notice that my bathroom is messy or it's looking dirty, I can easily pull out some toilet bowl cleaner or some Lysol wipes, give the counters a spray down and clean off the mirrors, and it takes me under 5 minutes. There's really not a lot of energy that's required when everything is right there. This system can be applied to many different areas of your life. The principle here is don't work harder than you need to. Leave the thing where you're going to be using it the most. I've talked about this one in another video, and somebody had mentioned that they have a very small space and they wouldn't have room to leave all of these cleaning supplies underneath their bathroom, which is totally fair. If you have a small space, it may not be as doable, but somebody had a great tip, which was to put all of the cleaning supplies in little travel size bottles and just leave it in a little bag. I thought it was such a great solution. So that's something that you could try if you have a smaller space. So the second home system is extras everywhere. I cannot emphasize this one enough. Another one that saves me so much time and frustration in my day. I think it can work for anyone, but honestly, it is a game changer if you have kids. I keep extras of everyday essentials distributed all throughout our house. There's a toothbrush and toothpaste and a hairbrush and hair ties in every bathroom of our home so that kids can always always find one when they need one. Or if you're leaving to go out the house and somebody needs a hair tie, it's right there where you need it. I keep extra socks at both entrances of my home. We have a mudroom in the back and we have a front entrance. I have a little basket or a little hanging organizer thing where I keep extra socks or mitts or whatever we need depending on the season. I cannot tell you how many times we're getting ready to go out the door and I say to somebody, "Where are your socks?" And nobody can find their socks. I've brought down socks, but somehow the socks, they always go missing. Having everything right by the door, last minute things that you tend to forget and need, and rather than having to be frustrated trying to look for it, I can't tell you how many mornings it has saved. What this does is it helps to reduce the friction in your days so that you're not wasting so much time and energy, because starting your day in chaos is a huge creativity killer and it can be really hard to get back to a place of calm if your day gets off on the wrong foot. The next one is the stair basket. I've talked about this on the channel before as well. If you have multiple floors in your home, I cannot tell you how much of a game changer that this one has been for us. Or if you have a home that's maybe spread out, this could also work really well. What I do is I keep a stair basket at the bottom of our stairs, and anytime I find things that are on our main floor that don't belong, they go in the stair basket. And it keeps everything contained and it helps to reduce the visual noise around my home so that I can keep countertops clear and the kitchen table clear. All of the areas that I find for me can be very overstimulating if they're too cluttered. I put it in the stair basket, and every time I go upstairs, I take something out of it with me. Usually I clear out the whole basket. I can take 3 or 4 items, I go put them away immediately as I go up the stairs, and it just keeps your living space nice and clear without having to make 100 little trips in a day. I'm a firm believer that clear surfaces equal a clear mind, and these little things, they matter more than we think. So the next system is the catch-all bin, which is one of my secret weapons for keeping countertops clean. It just gives all of those random things a designated home until you can either have time to clear it and put it away, figure out where it can live in your house so that it doesn't pile up and become constant clutter that you're having to manage, or if you live with somebody, getting them their own designated catch-all bin so that when you're not sure what to do with something, I remember when I was married, there was always business cards left around and screws and technical things and things that I just didn't know if they were important or not. So I gave him his own catch-all bin to keep all of his items in. And if he needed it, he knew where he could look for it. But just make sure with the catch-all bin, you're not letting it pile up so that it becomes this huge, overwhelming basket that you need to manage and deal with. It kind of takes away from the purpose of the catch-all bin. The catch-all bin for me is really just a temporary solution when I need my surfaces to be clean, but I don't have time to go put things where they belong because I'm not sure where they belong yet. I haven't figured out if we're keeping it or if it's recycling. I haven't talked to my kids about where it goes, like those kinds of things. So you don't want to have it pile up because it will become another thing for you to have to manage. So about once a week, I go through my catch-all bin. I'll let things collect in there, sometimes less, sometimes a little bit longer. So if there's things that I'm not sure what to do with just yet, it lives in this temporary storage location that will get dealt with as soon as I have a moment. It just helps keep my space feeling calm and clear and clutter-free until I have a little more time to deal with it. The next system is the 1 load of laundry per day. One of the biggest things that I used to struggle with was letting laundry pile up, and I would find on the weekends there would be 5 or 6 loads of laundry to do by the time the weekend came around, and I would be super overwhelmed. Not to mention, throughout the week, I would be struggling to find clothes that we need. I could never find socks, or there wouldn't be clean pants. I'd pull things out of a pile of clean clothes left on top of our washing machine. Everything would be wrinkled. It would create enormous stress and overwhelm, and not to mention it would make me feel frumpy and unkempt, and I didn't like how I looked or how I felt in my clothes. So one solution that I've been doing for the past couple of years is doing 1 load of laundry per day. And sometimes I find there's nothing to take care of, but usually there's something, whether it's towels or bed sheets. We have dogs, so there's always something that needs to be cleaned. And I find by doing 1 load of laundry, ideally start to finish, one day, it's one task. You get it done, you put everything away. It doesn't steal a Saturday from you, and it also just helps the day start off on the right foot. When everybody has clean, fresh clothes, nothing is crumpled up and wrinkled, everybody knows where they can find their things. There's something there for you to wear when you need it. This has been such a blessing for our family to have implemented this system. So the next system is a meal planning service that I use every single week. I'm currently using Inspired Go. This is not a sponsored video. I've been with Inspired Go now for about 3 months. I get 5 to 6 salads delivered every single week, and usually a few yogurt or cheese snacks delivered as well as part of that order. I personally have found this to be incredibly helpful. It reduces the amount of dishes I have to clean because I just eat out of the containers that it comes in. I don't have to think about what it is that I'm making for dinner. I make something for my children, but when it comes to me, I don't have to think about what it is that I'm making. I find that there's less food waste because I pretty much just buy the same staples every single week, and I eat the same breakfast almost every single day. I don't eat much for lunch. I kind of just graze between breakfast and dinner, and my dinner time is a salad. The funny thing is I actually really love to cook, but during this season of my life, I find that it's just been a really helpful solution. As a single mom with 2 kids, trying to grow a business, create content, not to mention manage all of the other day-to-day things that happen in life, the meal delivery service has saved me so much time. And for you, it might not be a meal delivery service, but it might just be simplifying your meals, having 1 or 2 weekly meals on rotate, or very simple meal plans. When I did cook, I was still very simple in the things that we ate. I cooked things that we could use for leftovers almost throughout the entire week. So if meal planning and dinner time is one area that really drains you, how can you simplify this for yourself? The point is to make decisions about food once maybe per week and not every single day. So spending even 15 minutes at the start of your week looking at a couple of recipes that are pretty easy to pull together that can last for several meals and for leftovers or lunch the next day is going to save you a lot of time and energy that you can then put back into creating the life that you really want. System 7 is having 2 15-minute resets per day. Typically, I usually do the first one in the morning or early afternoon, sometime after my kids have eaten and they've gone off to school. I come home and I will usually get the kitchen and tidy up random things that have been left out and about. When my space feels calm, I can think. When my space feels chaotic, I can't. It's as simple as that. So these resets are not doing a deep clean or anything like that. They're more so just getting your home back to a place where you have a few clear surfaces, dishes are put away, maybe the floors have been vacuumed and all of the crumbs are picked up off of the floors. Anything that you find really overstimulating and distracting in your space that's going to take away from your energy and your mental clarity when it comes time to create, those are the things that you really want to focus on. So set a timer for 15 minutes and get your place back to baseline. In the evening, usually after supper, or if we've been busy, it'll be sometimes after the kids go to bed, I will do another 15-minute reset. Usually I load up the dishwasher and I run that so that I unload it in the morning. I make sure all the surfaces are clear. I just kind of tidy things up. Anything that's out of place, I just put it back where it belongs so that everything feels nice and calm for when we get up the next day and get ready to do it all over again. And we're not coming down into a kitchen that's chaotic or things that are just in complete disarray. I can start my day on a good note and just have a home that doesn't feel like it's always on top of us, but supports us as a family. So I just want to pause here for a moment. Those were the home systems that I do on a day-to-day basis that just help things run smoothly. This is not about having a clean home or organizing just for the sake of organizing. This is really about implementing systems that help you reduce the decision fatigue, but most importantly, the mental load that you carry, so that when it comes time for you to do something for yourself, like do something creative that feels deeply meaningful, that nourishes your soul, maybe work on a side business, or start making progress towards creating the life that it is that you want, you have something left for you. Some of us are just more sensitive to our environments and feel very dysregulated in a home that feels chaotic and cluttered and disorderly. I know that if my home is chaos, I can't get into a good creative flow and I can't think clearly. So your home creates the conditions for you to be creative. When I finally have that pocket of time, I want to share with you some systems on how I protect my energy so that I can stay focused in the moment and just know what to do with that space when I have it. Okay, so system 8 is the idea capture system. Every creative needs somewhere to capture their good ideas. Otherwise, you're going to forget them. No matter how much you think that you won't, you will. I can't tell you how many good ideas have gone out the window because I didn't write them down or capture them in some place that I can go back to them later. The system that you use to track your ideas really doesn't matter, whether it is a diary that you keep, whether it is an app on your phone like Google Keep or the Notes app, which is what I tend to use. There's Notion. There are so many different systems for capturing your ideas when you have them. The important thing is that there's not a lot of friction to doing it. I will write things in my notebook or my journal, but a lot of times when I have an idea, it's not really around me. So I find that my phone is usually with me no matter where I'm at. So if I'm out and I get an idea and I want to capture it, I grab my phone and I type it in my Notes app, and it's easy and it's done. Occasionally, I will use a voice transcribing app. I've used Whisper in the past. There's a few out there that you can use that are free, and I will just speak my ideas into my phone and it will transcribe it for me and I can come back to it later. If you don't like typing, that could be a really good alternative too. The point is that it needs to be easy and it needs to be accessible. You want to reduce the friction wherever you can to make these systems flow smoothly in your own life. Number 9 is protecting your creative time. So for me, my life is fairly chaotic and busy. I have 2 children who both have very high needs, and my days are pretty unpredictable. My schedule can change from day to day just depending on what's happening. But when I do have blocks of time for myself to work on my business or create content or script things out or just plan and create, I protect the time that I have fiercely, which means I turn off all notifications. My phone and my computer instantly go on Do Not Disturb so that I don't see anything coming through as I'm in deep focused work. I make sure that I don't schedule other things during the time that I have to be creative. So that means I'm not going out for lunch with friends, I'm not on client calls, I'm not running errands or catching up on things around the house. That is my creative time to really sit down and focus on what it is that I need to do. And of course, nothing is perfect. There are plenty of times I think that I have a block of creative time and it gets interrupted by something that's going on with my kids, or I need to pick somebody up from school. I think you have to have some level of flexibility in order for this to work, or it can get frustrating pretty fast. I think consistency is very important here. So trying to block out, even if it's 15 minutes for yourself every day to focus on something that you love to do and be creative in whatever form that looks like. And it's okay if something does break my creative flow. I just return to it the next day or later in the evening after my kids have gone to bed. I try not to worry about it too much because otherwise I'm going to be pretty stressed out all of the time because there's a lot of interruptions. If you're a parent trying to work from home, you know what it's like. You're constantly being interrupted. Plans are always getting changed. You have one idea and it doesn't work out. You have to be able to go with it. The important thing is you just be intentional with the time that you have and protect that space so that your focus isn't being taken away and put on other things where you can help it. Number 10 is the weekly reset. I don't have a big weekly reset. My weekly reset is once a week, usually on Sunday. I pull up my laptop, I check out what's on the calendar for the week. Everything that I do lives in a Google Calendar. I see what we have on the schedule. I make any tweaks or changes that I need to. I check in with my co-parenting partner, my former husband, and I let him know of any things that he needs to be aware of in the week. And I do a brain dump in my planner for all of the things that I need to accomplish that week. Usually the brain dump includes way more things that I'm able to do, but I like just getting it out of my head and on paper somewhere so I can kind of get a sense of what it is that I need to be focusing on. For me, I find the combination of having a digital calendar like Google and then the analog system of just writing things out works really well for my brain. But the most important thing is just to find a system that works for you, whether you have a paper calendar or you do everything digitally. Just keep it somewhere where you can keep on top of all of the things and it all doesn't need to live in your head. Number 11 is to create transition time. I think this one is very important when you are a neurodivergent person or you're someone like me who has ADHD or maybe someone who's highly sensitive. When you're in deep focus work and you have to get out of that mode and go back into mom mode or in another mode where you're in a totally different state, that transition can be really hard. And what I used to do is I would work up right until the very last minute. I'd have to leave the house at 3 p.m. to go get my kids from school. And I would work right up until 3 p.m. And what I would notice is that when I did that, I would be overstimulated, I would be super agitated, and I would just find myself not in a very pleasant mood. And that's not how I wanted to live my life. So now what I do is I build in buffer time that creates more spaciousness during these transition periods. So if I have to pick up my kids at 3 p.m., I don't end my day at 3, I end my day at 2:30 or 2:45. And almost every time it ends with a walk. I will take my dogs out for a 15-minute walk. As soon as I get outside, that fresh air on my face makes a huge difference in how I feel. And it helps me transition from deep creative work into mom mode and just gives me a bit of breathing room so I'm not feeling so overwhelmed and overstimulated. It doesn't matter what your transition time looks like. It could be just stopping and having a cup of tea, reading for a few minutes, maybe lying down on the couch and just resting your eyes. So think of the transitions that you have in your day, where you can build in some buffer time and how you can make those transitions go a little smoother. Of course, life is not always perfect, especially if you work for somebody else. It's not always possible to have space in between activities. So think of anything that you can do to help your brain cue that this is transition time and you need to move between modes, even if that's just doing 5 deep breaths or listening to a song on the radio, or maybe listening to nothing at all, just to help you get into a clearer and cleaner headspace for the next thing that you have in your day. Number 12, and this is probably the most important thing, is the permission to do nothing on purpose. I think this one can feel counterintuitive because it feels like you're not being productive, but not having rest in your day or not allowing yourself to feel boredom and just have nothing on the schedule can be one of the biggest reasons why you're low on creative energy or you never have ideas. If you're always trying to fill every little gap in your day, you have no space to have any ideas originate, and it's very demanding on your time and on your energy, and you don't even realize how much it depletes you until you're snapping at everybody and you're wondering why you're feeling so overstimulated. Ideas, they never come when you're feeling super busy. They come in the gaps and the spaces in between. So protect these empty spaces, protect the boredom. It is one of the most important things that you can do for your creative life. So those are the 12 systems that are quietly running my home and my creative life to make sure that I have the energy and the mental capacity and the clarity to really focus on creating and living the life that I want. If there is a system that I mentioned that you would like to try, or if there's something that you do in your day-to-day life that helps everything run smoothly so that you have more energy and capacity to focus on the things that you love, please share them in the comments below. I read every single one, and I genuinely love to know what you're working through. If this resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel. I make videos about slow, intentional living, creativity, and building a life and a business that genuinely feels like you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week.